So, today we'll talk about surviving layoffs. And number one, no one is immune to layoffs. Not a single person working in a job, whether corporate, organized sector, unorganized sector, government sector, PSU, no one is immune to layoffs. Also, corporate life comes with its ups and downs. When we talk of corporate life, it is not only in the organized sector, it is as an employee. Sometimes things are not in our hands, and those of you having your own businesses will realize sometimes even things are not in your hands too. Being risk averse is equal to limiting your growth. So be open to taking calculated risks periodically in your career. Be on the lookout for opportunities. See what is the outcome of the work that I'm doing. If there is a point where you feel that your work is not evolving, quickly raise it to your next level so that you are put on something which is productive. Next, preparing ahead can decrease but not eliminate the risk. Keep a personal emergency kit ready, what we call as a layoff kit. Now, this is not your, earthquake kit. That fine, I've kept everything in a bag, and the moment there is an earthquake, I run out with it. People in Japan do it. Also, don't lose track of reality. Don't become over prepared with layoffs that you're not able to do justice to your present role. And when that happens, work towards an immediate comeback. How do we know there are about to be layoffs? There is no rule of the thumb. There is no ballpark, but we can catch the signals in the air. Keep a lookout on the economy. Where is it headed? What is it that your company is doing that can result in better outcomes for you in this economic downturn or upshift? Either way, most of us are caught unawares and we don't know what to do even in an upshift. We don't go and say, hey, now that the company is upbeat, we have great revenues, can I take on certain roles which I feel I can do well? The other part is when there is a downturn, we become very conservative with our approach. We try to do our work, try to be very pleasing to the other senior management, and try to stay away from trouble. Now, the thing is, both these sides can be problematic. And why? We'll just learn shortly. There are signals. When there is a downturn, your company will start cutting back on expenses related to commuting, employee welfare, trainings. Slowly, it moves on to probably furloughing certain people, giving them unpaid leaves, forced leaves. This happens more in companies who are working according to the American systems. Indian companies straight away cut off the job or the role. Now, there are various approaches, and so immediate reactions. When we get the news, your boss brings you on into his room or his cabin and says, my friend, I'm sorry, but today is your last working day. Why? It could be the case that your company's been acquired by another company and they brought on their own management. Many of in the technology domain have passed through this. Or they may say, we are not doing good profits and we are shutting down this division. Sometimes they may give you a position in another division and sometimes they don't. So what is to be done? Many of us break down, which is a normal reaction. But if we are prepared, we know this was coming, we could read the signals, and we know how to handle it. We do not collapse because the moment we collapse in public, we are telling ourselves and giving ourselves a signal, I am not strong. Of course, you're frustrated. Who likes to lose their job or their career? But go back and address things in private in a dignified manner. Don't take out your anger or your frustration on relatives, friends, family, spouse, children, parents, anyone. It's not their fault. So, handling yourself, take out 15 minutes, sit on your desk, and just recollect your journey in the organization. Give gratitude for what you've earned and learned, and say this is now stepping stone to a great future. Collect your things with dignity, hand over whatever you have to hand over. Of course, talk about your severance pay. That is very important. And go out with your head held high. Never ever cry, create drama because people remember it. The world is small. You never know when you will meet these people once again. So go out with your head held high and your confidence at the prime. Second part is communication. What is it that you need to hand over? And if you are laying off somebody, what is it that you need to take a handover from them for? And if I go back to point number one, if you are the person executing the layoffs, do it with compassion, do it with kindness and understanding. Show your remorse and regret. You are only executing the management's decision. For those in HR, they all often feel guilty about executing it. Don't feel guilty. You are just executing a decision as an officer or representative of the company. Take it in your stride. Communication, both ways. When you receive that news, again, dignity. Go out with dignity, and if you're communicating that news to somebody, do it with dignity. Time management. Now comes the part where instead of going to the office, after handing over your duties in the next couple of weeks as you serve your notice period, you've got time. Don't wait for that to happen. While you are executing your handover or transfer of technology, start putting a solid timetable in place. So the hours you were spending on the work now go in ramping up on your skills. So all the money you've saved on the lifestyle creep now comes out. And you learn skills, behavior, ramp up on psychology. What people say is not what people mean and not what people do. What people say is not what they mean and what they do. There is a huge difference. So be prepared to understand human behavior. Every time somebody gives you a happy news or a great news, what is it behind that great news? Try to analyze. Don't overthink. Analyze. Whenever you receive a bad news, look for what is good behind that bad news. Behind every bad news is an opportunity waiting to be exploited. It's in manage your time. Try to introduce a great working routine for yourself. In the morning, ramp up on your energy levels. If you are collapsing during the day, this is the time to get back into your great energy zone. Reclaim your energy. Energy is all about careers. High energy people always grow in their careers because they attract that kind of growth. Low energy pessimists delay their growth. Next part 4, managing family expectations. I always purport never live beyond your means, but don't even hide the fact that you've lost your job temporarily. Get your family on board and collectively work out solutions. Tone down expectations from not immediate family, friends, and other people. It is okay to say no. Till yesterday, I could give you a great gift, brother, sister, whoever. Right now, I'm hopeful I'll be able to resume that. But let us spend our efforts in growing and learning together. In today's times, I think we need to greatly cull the expectations of what we call quote unquote gifts. Make your gifts high in value, low in price. And anybody who expects gifts that are high in price but low in value and feelings is not really worthy of you. A beautifully made car also help you to grow. So this is the time to test people. This is the time to test people and reset expectations. Not because the world is doing it, but because it is important. Now let us get practical. Here comes the part of critical thinking and decision making. Great people grow out of crisis. Lot of great people have evolved out of crisis. I'll give you the example of Faisal. Faisal was my mentee way back in, I think the year was 2017, late 16, early 2017. Faisal was supposed to be promoted to an associate director. He was with a tech company in Bangalore. Unfortunately, his company got acquired by another organization, and Faisal, along with 180 other people, lost their jobs. Faisal had a lot of responsibilities. He had lost his father early in life and he was supporting a big family. And an amazing person, absolutely an amazing person. And we feel life is kind to us each other. He was planning to visit a psychiatrist and get on medications. And he asked me what to do. I said, it's okay if you feel medications can help you, but don't get habituated to them. The moment you do, you become dependent on them. So Faisal took a very strong decision. He took a very strong decision that went against all logic. He went to the psychiatrist, he went to a psychologist, he also went to a doctor. Now look at the scientific approach. He got the reports from all three, he asked their advice, and he disregarded all that advice. He created a growth plan for himself. Where that growth plan took him today, he's a CTO of a company. But absolutely amazing, spectacular comeback. And when we hear these stories, we realize we humans are capable of so much more than going down under because of certain crises. So his psychiatrist's office called him 2 months later to fix an appointment. And he says, what for? I'm already joining another organization in a few days. There was no looking back. It is how we treat our crisis and give ourselves the opportunity to be stronger or depend on other things or make it an excuse to stagnate. Now, looked like, and I'll share exactly what he did. So we'll come to that part towards the end. Right now, let us quickly go through with the next part. Critical thinking and decision making is all about what is the outcome you are looking at. Do you see yourself depending on medicines for the rest of your life or blaming the world, or do you see yourself coming out stronger, more energetic, and more professional?